quarantine with Stuart Corden from the Nottingham-based band BLITZ'S and his lovely wife Gail. I'm absolutely delighted to meet the pair of you. How are you?
We're good, yeah.
Fine, thank you.
Fine.
And your beautiful dog Baxter that you just introduced me to before.
Yeah.
Gorgeous poo. So it's lovely to meet you all. I feel like I know the whole family now, which is just wonderful. Now, normally I would be talking to you about the album you released this year, about your other releases, about the singles you've just dropped, but we're not actually talking about any of that today. So we're here for a very special reason. We're talking about the Christmas single, I Believe in Christmas. All funds raised will go to Cancer Research UK. So the song and the story of the song is about never giving up, never giving in. So do you want to tell us all about how this came about, why you're doing the Christmas single, and how people can donate to it?
Okay, well, we started just before lockdown, putting a song together. We decided we wanted to do a Christmas single, but not something kind of cheesy, something kind of that was true to the vibe of the band. Still had that big rock sound. And at the time, we thought it'd be a great idea due to my wife Gail, who will tell you all about it. We've been fighting the battle of cancer now for the last 5 years. 8 years. She'll keep putting me right. We've never done an interview together, so forgive me.
I'm honoured to be the first person to interview you both together. But keep going, you're doing great.
I end up sleeping on the sofa. So what we decided was that we donate everything to Cancer Research, and Gail will fill you in on the journey that we're making with that. The track and the video go out on December the 4th. Okay. We recorded a song at a place called Access Studios at Doncaster, and the guy who produced it was a guy called Matt Ellis, and he produced Massive Wagons, and he's producing the new Black Spiders album. Really, really top-notch guy. He produced our first album and our second album, so he's the go-to guy for us. So we went up there, and we thought we'd put this track together. And I wrote it obviously about Gail's journey and our journey and the battle that we're facing with the cancer. So we thought we'd do that. Due to lockdown was just about to approach, and we had the last window to get in there and record the track. So we recorded the track, and we had to go in separately. So we were doing videos separately of us performing, and it was all done on phones. But I know you've seen the finished result, but what we've got is something I think is really honest, and it really captures the band, really 110%. So if Gail fills you in on the
yeah, I mean, please tell us about your journey.
About your journey.
About my journey. Yeah. Basically, I was diagnosed with something called non-Hodgkin's follicular lymphoma low grade in 2012, which is a blood cancer. Unfortunately, mine is only treatable and not curable. So each time I have chemotherapy, it will come back again. So it will never go away. I will always have the cancer. I went on to what was called watch and wait for 3 years. So they monitored me closely for 3 years because they have to wait until it gets to its peak before they do the first chemotherapy, because it's not going to be cured. So I had chemotherapy in 2015, went into remission. The average remission time is 5 years, and unfortunately, a week before it was 5 years, I found a lump in my neck. Phoned my hematologist, was rushed straight for biopsies, scans, etc. And I was informed that it was back at stage 4, which is the highest stage. So I had to start chemotherapy within that 2 weeks of finding the lump. So I'm currently having chemotherapy at the moment, 12 sessions. My next one is this Thursday and Friday. So hopefully, fingers crossed, if all goes according to plan, I should have my last chemotherapy on the Friday before Christmas.
Right, okay.
And then it will be a case of scans and everything to see whether it's gone into remission again. But the next remission stage is probably only about 2 years.
That's kind of where we are.
That's kind of where we are at the moment. So
yeah.
Has lockdown affected your treatment at all, or has that sort of remained as it would be.
I've been really lucky with the hospital. I'm at Kingston Hospital in Sutton in Ashfield, and to be honest, I mean, I found a lump in my neck in June, and with having scans, biopsies, seeing the haematologist, all the tests, I was having chemotherapy by 3 weeks later. So I've been quite lucky that it hasn't altered it, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, you know, I've only got like 4 more sessions to go, so it's hopefully like 6 weeks time, so hopefully we'll be able to finish the chemotherapy, because the last thing you want is to have it stopped and then started again. But fingers crossed, we're going okay at the moment. And Kingston Hospital, which is the hospital that I'm under, my haematologist, Dr. Jones, have been fantastic all the way through. I can't fault them at all.
And how are you feeling in yourself?
Good days and bad days. Good days and bad days. I'm into my throat because I have it every 4 weeks. So this is the 3rd week. So I start feeling slightly normal as I possibly can. Still very tired, still very nauseated. But come next week when I start the chemotherapy again, it will just wipe me out again. So, and each time you have the chemotherapy, each session, your the things that you have, the problems that you have get worse.
Stu said, let's show the world that the rock community is full of cool people who want to make a difference. Now, the rock community is known as being a family, looking out for one another, helping. How can people help with this? How can they raise money? What do they need to do?
Well, what we're doing at the moment is we're looking at the logistics of when we put the track out on the 4th of December, all the information about donating and getting the track, that's all going to go up on the 4th of December. So really, that's when the donations will kick in. And if you go on our the Blitz Facebook and our fan page, which is called the Blitz Crew, it's all on there. All the information is going to be readily available for anybody who wants to donate, and we'd love it if they did.
Okay, and just very briefly touched on the album that you released this year. It's called Fight to Survive. So yeah. I'm assuming that is very, very closely related.
Well, there are a lot. Although we're unashamedly a kind of a cliche-ridden classic rock band, and we hold our hands up to all that. But that's what we grew up with, and that's what we love, you know.
That's it. All your influences are definitely classic rock, and you can tell that.
I mean, we kind of cover everything. We've got a hardcore drummer who comes from a really hardcore band, and we've got, you know, we've all done different things. You know, Kev's worked in a Metallica tribute band a while, and I was in like a hardcore band. But when we got together, me and Kev, when we first met, we decided we wanted to be try and recreate the kind of music we listened to as kids that got us playing in the first place. And those, unfortunately, those bands were Queen, Cheap Trick, and Kiss, and you know, and Motorhead, and all those kind of bands we loved as kids. We thought, like, let's try and embrace that. And so we feel within that we're being quite honest. You know, not trying to pretend we're cutting edge, but a lot of the themes on the album, lyrically, like Fight to Survive, we just, if you hear little whining noises, it's our dog Baxter. He's slipped a disc, and he's a little bit under the weather. So a lot of the things we cover, like Fight to Survive, which is about you know, about mental illness, that one, and we've got another track on there called Never Surrender, which is kind of dedicated to Gail fully, which is about never, you know, again, it's got that positive kind of spin on it. Yeah. But a lot of the songs, even some of the songs that you may think are straight up rockers, I always try to put a little twist in there, maybe, you know, to give it a little meat and potatoes, let's say. But yeah, there are a lot of themes on the album, and we do talk about, especially, you know, with Fight to Survive, some tough subjects, you know, but you wouldn't think it if you heard it, but there's you know, the subject matter is a little bit deeper than you would.
Yeah.
We are basically set out to be a really good, melodic, entertaining, good rock and roll band, and that's what we set out to be from the beginning.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you are. So people want to check out a really good, solid classic based rock and roll band. Blitz are the ones to check out right now. You know, you've got loads of music. You're on your second album you've released. You have an EP.
Yeah. We've got some plans for next year. We're already planning stuff for next year. Of course, after the Christmas singles gone viral and everybody's got involved in it.
That's what we need. We need this to go viral. Do you have a certain amount, a figure in your head that you'd like to raise, ideally?
I think doing that. I think it's. I don't know if we feel a bit strange about doing that. We just want people to give and do the best they can. You know, I think putting a figure on it might almost, you know.
I mean, anything, to be honest.
Anything,
any
you know,
amount would be
any amount at all that.
And go to the cause.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And of course, work is ongoing. You know, with cancer research, there's always more research that can be done, and you know, eventually, fingers crossed, there will be cures that will be absolutely beat this 100%. But you know, cancer research really needs that money.
I mean, to be honest, since my first chemotherapy to the one that I had this time, even in that 5 years, the treatment has come on so much in that 5 years. It's unbelievable, and that's only through the research that they're doing, that's giving better and better. I mean, I don't know whether it'll come. I mean, whether it'll come enough to be able to stop my cancer, because it probably won't. But at least for future generations, hopefully we're eventually going to get a cure for everybody, and that's what.
Yeah, and you know, so many people are affected by cancer in one form or another. You know, everybody will know somebody in their family, a close friend that either has had cancer in the past or is going through what you're going through now. So, you know, I just would ask people, if you can donate whatever you can, however large or small amount, please do. And not only that, but once your video is live, I would urge everyone to share it, and really let's try and get this to go viral, because it is a message about positivity, about not giving up. And it's a message that we all need at the moment, you know, regardless of our own health. And I think, you know, it's a great message to be sending out there. So let's try and get this viral.
Gail's just got to let the dog out. So I'll continue. What I'd like to say finally is, just the Blitz page, the Blitz crew page, anywhere you see it, on the 4th of December, where all the information about donating is going to be on there. And we're going to let the track's going to be just everywhere. If everybody just share it and get involved, this isn't about egos and about them. Really, it's not about. We're just using Blitz as a vehicle to get the donations for cancer research. Really, honestly, this is not about any kind of bandwagon jumping or not at all. This is about cancer research, and it's about, you know, shining a light on all that, because at the moment, you know, coronavirus, the terrible thing that it is, it can be kind of overshadowing. A lot of cancer are getting a little bit left behind, maybe. And I think, you know, shining the light on that as well, I think will be a good thing. Yeah,
and of course, cancer can affect anybody at any time, regardless of, you know, it doesn't pick and choose. It could be anybody. And, you know, we've got coronavirus at the moment, as you said, but people are still going through treatment for cancer throughout lockdown, you know, and afterwards. So I just want to thank you both so much for talking to me, and to you, Gail. I wish you all the very best with your treatments. You are so sort of positive, and you know, you're an absolute inspiration. And I'm just getting on. You have to stay positive. That's the only way that I get through it, is by staying positive. I did lose my dad to cancer at 59, to the same sort of cancer, odd years ago. I lost my grandma also to leukemia at 60 odd years old. And I look at it now, and that was 25 years ago I lost my dad. And I just think that, you know, probably maybe if it was now, they may have had a cure for it. So this is why it's just so important to put the money in to get the research done.
Definitely.
Yes. Best wishes to Baxter, of course, with his slip disc.
Chance you can buy it is not.
Yeah.
I feel like I met the whole family. It's just absolutely wonderful. So, again, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you, Anne.
with everything, and I hope you raise a lot of money. Hope the rock community digs deep. That's what we want.
Have a nice Christmas.
Oh yeah, everybody have a nice Christmas.
And you.
4th of December, Blitz page, Blitz Facebook, and Blitz crew page. All the details will be there. Come on, guys, let's do this. Yeah, let's do a bit of good. Yeah, spread some love out there. Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Sending lots of love. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.